Shocks and struts are used in the suspension on your vehicle, but in most cases they don't support the weight of the vehicle. That's a job of the springs. Now as you're going down the road, that spring will compress up and down because the weight of the vehicle is bouncing on it. The shocks and the struts will take that energy and suppress it so your tires don't bounce up and down off the road, kind of like this basketball. Shocks and struts absorb spring energy by being connected to one end of the suspension near the wheel and on the other end to a mounting point on the vehicle. As they move up and down, fluid inside of the shocks and struts is forced through small valves, creating resistance to the bouncing movement. This resistance stops excessive bouncing and movement within the suspension and, most importantly, keeps the tires in contact with the road. Here are a few signs that you might need new shocks or struts. Fluid leaking out and down the side of a shock or strut is a sure sign that the part needs to be replaced. A vehicle that's nosediving when you apply the brakes or squatting down in the back when you accelerate is also an indication of worn shocks and struts. Excessive bouncing is also a clear sign of worn out shocks or struts that need to be replaced. Tires that have abnormal wear patterns that appear to be cupped are indicators that worn out shocks and struts are allowing the tire to hop as you drive down the road. Replacing worn shocks and struts will keep the tires on the road and reduce tire wear. A strut looks different than a shock because it's more complex. It actually has a spring supporting the weight of the vehicle built into it, and because it is more complex and it's a lot more labor to get the strut out, it's going to be more expensive when you have to replace your struts. There are different quality levels for shocks and struts, so make sure you ask the shop some questions about the type of parts being used when you get an estimate to have them replaced. If you have over 60,000 miles on your vehicle, you might be a candidate for new shocks and struts. But it does make a difference what type of roads you drive on every day, so don't let a shop talk you into replacing the shocks and struts based on mileage alone. But if you do get them replaced, you're definitely going to get a much better ride, and your vehicle's going to be safer because you're not going to be bouncing your tires down the road. For Channel 6 News, I'm Jim Champion, the Auto Guy.